Remember what I said. Freight train of pain. Again? Yeah. What?
Alter Schwede. Ja.
Officer, what was that? Yes.
Hm?
The victim? Is there something I should know before we...
Whatever you do, don't say the first thing.
Understood. It is. This would have been good to know before. It should have. Anything else? Understood. You were not in good shape on Monday. What you're saying is, you raped her?
Ice is forming on the inside of your chest cap.
Then, don't ever. What else? Okay, that's manageable. We'll be all right.
Is it though?
Ich brauche dringend irgendwas. Was? Komm, lass uns mal rausgehen. Wir haben noch eine Kleinigkeit zu erledigen. Weil da war ja irgendwo... Gut, Entschuldigung. Nochmal zurück. Nein, ja. Ja. Ne, hier geht's nicht weiter, oder? Nee. Irgendwo hat die uns doch diese Dings aufgemacht. Und ich weiß nicht mehr so genau, wo das war. Ich habe mir es sogar angeschaut, aber ich weiß es immer noch nicht. Hier irgendwo? Nein. Das ist so doof. Da? Nein. Hier? Moment. Hier irgendwo? Es ist doch irgendwo dort. Nee. Oh, warte mal. Hallo? Da war doch gerade was. Es riecht nach Leder und Schweiß. Das ist das, was ich hören wollte. Irgendwo hier? Doch, das müsste doch da sein. Wo genau ist das jetzt? Die hat uns irgendwo einen Lüftungsschacht aufgemacht. Das ist das ganz normale Loch, das bringt gar nichts. In dem Haus ich wüsste zu gerne, wo das ist. Ich würde das da jetzt zu gerne jetzt nochmal so schauen, aber
Just an ordinary wall. Nothing to see here.
Fähigkeitspunkte in Konzeptbildung. Ich will es jetzt haben.
Just an ordinary wall. Nothing to see here.
Bitte, jetzt.
Yeah.
Ach, das gibt's doch nicht.
Why must we stop to look at this wall every time we pass?
Lass mich in Ruhe. Mal ganz im Ernst, ne? Ich bin sofort wieder da. Das fuchst mich jetzt. Es hat ein bisschen gedauert, aber jetzt habe ich es gefunden. Wir kamen hier vorher nicht durch, aber jetzt. Schuhe in einer Pfütze schmelzende Schnee. Die Dielen knarren, das macht nichts. So. Ah, so wunderschön. Endlich. Aha, Würfel. Hi.
Hello, I'm Nia.
Ich heiße Neha. Vogelartig.
Did you try knocking on my window? I must have missed you. I've been listening to my Milius.
Mileus, aha.
So what kind of dye are you looking for?
Was?
She's got a direct view to the backyard. You should interrogate her about the lynching.
Yes, Amelia is like a call-in station. You need a two-way radio to access one. That's why I have these.
Okay.
Mostly, they just teach you to swear in different languages.
Sie
But
müssen mich...
some of the stations can be quite interesting.
Sie
I
müssen
was
mich...
so absorbed, I must have missed you knocking.
Nee, ich habe nicht geklopft.
Then how did you get inside? By the south entrance? You know what? It doesn't even matter. What matters is that you're finally here.
Wieso Würfel?
Let's talk dice. I'm a novelty dice maker. Tell me the name of your role-playing system and I'll make the die you need. That's why you're here, yes?
Nee.
As she speaks, her bone-like fingers fiddle with a ring. Her bones light, but her hands
Seltsam.
strong. Role-playing games? You know the one made by Fortress Accident. Does that count?
Answers? How strange. These days people only come to me for dice and role-playing games.
Die Würfelmacherin. Wie mysteriös.
I'm not sure how helpful I'll be, but go ahead and ask.
It almost looks as if the stones and dice are a natural part of the room, growing out of the shelves like stalagmites. No falsehoods are present. She's a novelty dice maker and doesn't have anything to hide. Ask what you need.
How did I become one?
Mhm.
It was a business decision. I was a regular jeweler at first, but that's an unfocused field with too much competition.
Was für seltsame Gestalten.
Some of my friends were role players. They asked me to make some polyhedral dice out of cobalt. That was my first order. I grew it from there.
Okay.
Not especially. I like working with rare materials and a steady pay. And role players as customers? They're nice people.
Some of those nice people have big bucks to spend on novelty items.
We're inside the chimney of an old central furnace. It's strange, I know. But when I arrived here, all the other rooms were taken, so I had to build myself a makeshift home. Besides, I don't really have to pay any rent here.
Wir kommen
So that's a
weiter.
plus.
Creative.
When she arrived here, there was no room anywhere else. She must have known the other businesses.
I've heard the stories, but I don't think those stories are true. Plaisance, the bookshop lady? I've heard that her business is doing rather well. Have the energy spared her somehow? Oh, right. But it's not just the bookstore that's still up and running. What about the whirling in racks? Some people say it's part of the building complex. And then there is me. I've been here for 14 years, selling novelty dice to role-playing enthusiasts. Not exactly a million-real business idea, yet somehow I've survived despite the talk of malicious energies. Strange, isn't it?
Maybe it's just because she's so talented that she's been able to woo the curse.
I was just about to ask, what do you think? Do you think the curse is real? Is it now? I've always thought it's a rather mundane and boring place with no supernatural surprises in sight. Well, if you ever find a way to explain all those inconsistencies in the curse, let me know.
That's all she has to say on the subject. She's been thorough and truthful, as far as we could see.
Nothing really. I didn't know him.
The lieutenant looks at his notebook, then the woman under the large window.
Your window looks directly onto the courtyard. You're saying you didn't see or hear anything unusual last
Bin
Sunday?
jetzt auch gespannt.
I'm sorry, detective, but as you know, I usually have my headphones on when I'm working. It shuts out most of the daily ruckus behind my window. Well, there's always something going on in the Whirling's backyard. During daytime, there are usually those kids, and lately I've been seeing a lot of drunk workers hanging about. Must be,
She's heard of the murder, but did not see it, sire.
but I never saw anyone during that fateful Sunday night, I'm afraid. I might have, but in this case, all I would have seen is my own reflection staring back from the darkness.
Okay. Kann ich zwischendrin eigentlich? Ah, okay, das war schon.
It's light here, but dark in the yard at night.
It's really hard to make anything out in the yard when it's an odd profession, making dice for people. But I like it, and I prefer doing this to sitting at home.
She
Danke.
nods.
Anything else, officer?
Mhm.
More or less. Are you interested in anyone specific?
Oh, quite a lot of them spring to mind.
It wasn't merely a gym, it was Artemiteps Boxing Club, a community project created to steer at-risk youth away from drugs and crime. Kuno. Who's Kuno? Oh yes, you mean the kid with the sailor's mouth. Yes, I think it would take more than a gym to help that kid. A kind man from Zemsk. I heard he had some trouble with the law when he was younger, and that's why he wanted to start the gym, as his way of giving back. It didn't. If anything, it made the youth situation in Martinez even worse. At some point, someone started a rumor that the punching bag downstairs was full of...
Wahrscheinlich.
You should have known it. It's not really full of that. No one would store their drugs like that.
Eventually, the coalition took away the funding and the club went bankrupt. This was a few years ago. It's gotten much more peaceful around the plaza ever since. Yes,
kommen
I
alle.
think it was called Androgynous Orlando or something similar. They weren't a big hit around here. Turns out that working class men don't like genderless haircuts. They're scared of that word.
Das ist auch wie seltsam.
You wouldn't like it either. The others would laugh at you. A bit of experimenting every now and then isn't bad. It's not about the haircut. It's about the confidence.
I guess it just wasn't the time yet.
Computerfenster?
Oh, this one's a mess. There used to be a company that promised to repair windows 24 hours a day. What
Nee,
could
echt
go
jetzt die
wrong
Story?
with this one, right? Turns out the business was actually set up as a front for an illicit group that was producing snuff milias. Who would have guessed?
Oh, oh, wie eklig.
What's the snuff milieu?
And they never cleaned up the debris either. Now it's just littering the hallway and I have no idea how to get rid of it on my own. It's a sub-Rosa radio station that broadcasts real murders with real victims. Some people play good.
Nothing changes in her tone as she says that, as if it's just another piece of information to lay out for the world. What does she mean to get off on it?
Don't worry, the ICP has a separate division that deals exclusively with unlicensed sub-roses. This isn't our problem.
Good luck with that. It's not easy to
Tiere
catch
ausgestopft?
a traitor. You mean Mr. Fabron, the taxidermist? No,
But what drugs exactly?
he got high on some weird taxidermy chemicals. I wouldn't recommend it to anyone. Eventually, they caused him to lose control of his bladder.
Blah.
Even you can probably do better than that.
There used to be a fashion atelier here, but I have forgotten the head designer's name. They were doing well for a couple of years, until the insect rights
Insektenrechtler?
activists came. The atelier produced a certain collection that used chitin among the materials. Apparently chitin is made in the Occident,
Ja, okay,
where it's
verstehe.
extracted from beetle wings.
Es ist wohl eine Anspielung auf die Fellproteste.
And you know how all kinds of political movements are big in the Occident. The activists shut down the biggest chitin supplier. which
Verstehe,
was
ist auch wieder eine
supposed to
Anspielung auf
survive.
tatsächliche politische Sachen.
And, naturally, all the most fashionable tastemakers refused to be seen in chitin from then on. The atelier went bankrupt before they could finish the collection. At least it had some spark to it. Most young designers just combine lace with leather and call it original.
As she shifts around, you notice several dead flies on the windowsill in front of her. Legs up. They're not moving.
Anything else? They were
Rotorblätter?
made by a company called Slipstream. After they pivoted from making rotor blades to skis, Their chief executive took off on a vacation with all their money. Honestly, I think it's quite funny. I think he's still sending out holiday transmissions from Tulula or Tiumotiri or Hashtkor or wherever he is. The usual, I imagine. But he's been thinking